Welcome back to the channel, Greg Allen F1, coming to you after a 1-month break that I took for the off-season in the month of January. Definitely needed that time to refresh myself and take some time away from the YouTube channel so that I could focus on my actual job, which has been heating up recently. But I am back, refreshed, and ready to go into the 2021 Formula One season, just over a month away. And I want to go through my top 5 stories that I've been following this off-season, so let's get right into it. Starting off with McLaren. Obviously, being a McLaren fan, got to start with where my heart is, and the switch to the Mercedes power units has been an interesting story that we're following over the last week or two. McLaren has come out and said that going to this power unit, where they do believe it will result in a faster power unit and car going into 2021, they've basically had to rebuild this entire car. So they're essentially going into the 2021 season with a brand new car, while every other team will be going into it with basically the same car they had a year ago. Adding a new driver to that car, and it could have some unpredictable results at McLaren. Ideally, the Mercedes power unit, we've seen how fast it is, should be able to propel McLaren and have them being even faster than they were last year. But when you're rebuilding a lot of core structures of that car to put in a new power unit, definitely some question marks for McLaren going into it. Be very excited to see what they can do. And if they don't get it right, everything changes in 2022 anyway, so who cares, right? Well, I do. All right, F1 schedule. Definitely a big one for me. We've already seen the Australia Grand Prix be moved back to November from its normal slot opening up the season. And you have to wonder if that's going to be the last change. We've had a couple tracks from last year that made their way back onto the schedule again due to the continuing effects of this pandemic. We're seeing the vaccines roll out everywhere, but we're not quite there yet, and there is still potential that more races will be moved. And then the second point I have here is, will we see fans in attendance this season? We hope that we do, and I think that all of us a year ago were hoping that fans would be back almost in full for this season. Definitely won't be the case to start the year, but we'll see where we're at come fall and towards the end of the 2021 season. Driver moves, definitely a big story. We're starting to get all the PR and cool shots of drivers getting their first drives in their new rides. Carlos Sainz just released a video this week of him driving, not this year's Ferrari, but a few years ago Ferrari, so he's getting accustomed to how that team does things. We got Daniel Ricciardo has done some good PR stuff with McLaren. Obviously, I'm following that one closely. Can't wait to see him behind the wheel of that one. Checo, no one looks happier than Checo right now, going over to Red Bull. Sergio Perez, opportunity of a lifetime, and I really think that you're going to see him challenge Max Verstappen and that team take a much bigger step getting closer to Mercedes this year. Don't know if they'll still be able to beat Mercedes, but Checo looks real happy, and why not? And of course, Sebastian Vettel going to Aston Martin. Those are the big moves of drivers that were in Formula One last year, and of course we have a whole slew of new drivers and old drivers like Fernando Alonso coming back into the sport. Another thing we're looking at is rebranding. Rebranding of some of these teams. Racing Point to Aston Martin, and of course Renault is now Alpine, or Alpine, as I've heard so many people say. As an American, I say Alpine of all time. But looking at Alpine, or Alpine, Abitable Cyril is gone, and that's crazy, right? So one of the best personalities in Formula One, in my opinion, and Abitable has decided to walk away from Renault and seek other opportunities. I think we kind of saw that coming, to be honest with you. If you really look at the way he carried himself all last year, it didn't totally shock me. I'm actually just sad that he's gone, though. I really like that guy. Very entertaining guy, and I will miss him in Formula One. Best of luck to whatever he does in his future. And for Aston Martin, can they improve over last year? They had a fantastic season with 2 really fast race cars. And if they do, are we going to see Sebastian Vettel be in that top 3 and winning some races this year? It'll be very interesting to see how he responds to that car. It is a huge move. I mean, it's totally different than what he's been running. But we're going to see if that talent level that Vettel has had throughout his whole career can come back to more of a normal level of what we're used to seeing from him. And finally, Lewis Hamilton and his contract talks. Lewis Hamilton's had a very busy offseason, was knighted, of course, over New Year's, and he's been all over the place. And one place he hasn't been is at Mercedes signing a contract. So I know that we've been guaranteed by Toto Wolff that he will be signing and putting pen to paper eventually, but they also gave a timeline all the way up to the week of the first Grand Prix. That seems a little cutting it close to me, and I can't wait to find out later on what the details of the contract holdups were for Lewis Hamilton. The most recent story that I've heard about it was they can't get in the same room. Toto Wolff's in Austria and Lewis Hamilton's in America. which that I don't understand either. What is Lewis Hamilton doing over here? COVID protocols and travel bans and travel restrictions. I can't imagine what he's actually doing here in the United States right now, especially this close to an F1 season. But nonetheless, that's what we were told. So I'll be following that one pretty closely. Hopefully we'll see something soon. He's going to be in Formula One this year. What I'm really interested in is when will he sign and for how long? How much? Because I think this contract might tell us how much longer Lewis Hamilton plans to keep driving. But anyway, those are my top 5 stories I've been following. As always, if you like my content, please give me a like and subscribe. This is one of several videos that I'll be producing the next couple of weeks. I am back. Off season's over. Let's get to work and let's get to Formula One season. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.